Welcome to Words with Dr. Whitaker. I'm Dr. Whitaker, and I'm so excited to have Meagan Berardi, the Executive Director of the Decatur Education Foundation, with us today. Welcome, Meagan.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited to have you. So the Decatur Education Foundation is truly value add for the city schools of Decatur. The partnerships for our students, for our teachers, for our schools in general, it's invaluable. When I think about what it really means to be all in and to be all in to support our students financially, our teachers financially, that's what DEF does. And so please tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about the way in which we partner CSD as well as Decatur Education Foundation.
Absolutely. A little bit about me. I started with DEF back in 2014.
Wow.
And I worked at DEF for close to 6 years. I was Director of Community Engagement and then Director of Programs and Partnerships. I left at the end of 2019 and spent some time at home with my family, which turned out to be excellent timing, what with the pandemic coming and all. And then just this past year, at the end of February, I rejoined, this time as Executive Director. And I'm thrilled to be back with this organization and doing this work that I am absolutely passionate about in this community where I live, and my kid goes to school, and I just love being a part of this work. And as far as our partnership goes, it's invaluable. You know, you always refer to City Schools of Decatur as a gem, and I believe that is true. I believe there are a lot of different things that go into making it a very special place to be. Obviously, our educators, our families, our students, and I do think that DEF plays an important role in sort of supporting all of the extra stuff that a public school system is not able to do, whether legally or just by the sheer amount of work that needs to be done. And so we are always happy to play our part to support our kids and our families and our teachers and staff at CSD.
Well, you are not a non-familiar face in Decatur, and definitely not with DEF. So talk a little bit about the mission of Decatur Education Foundation and why not only were you here for those years, but then you've come back now as the executive director. So what is the mission? Why does it exist?
The mission is, I could sort of tell you what's on our website, but the way I look at it is we help our kids overcome the obstacles that are in their path to learning. So we know that kids and youth are going to experience obstacles in their lives, and figuring out how to get past that is part of life. Mm-hmm. And also, many of those obstacles are in their way of learning. Many of those obstacles are out of their control, whether it be financial instability or mental health or learning differences, having a lack of support outside of school. And so we do what we can to use the resources in our community and apply them to programs that support our kids. So we help address unmet needs. We help provide opportunities to make sure all of our kids have access to great opportunities.
That's great.
We support our educators, and we do what we can to strengthen our community initiatives.
That's awesome. So you are now coming into what would be your first full year.
Yes.
As executive director.
Yes.
So not in a support role, but that of ED of the foundation.
Yeah.
And my question is, what are some of the priorities that the foundation that has in front of us?
Yes, I would say the number one priority is really re-engaging with this community. Really getting back in front of our families, our teachers, letting them know about the work we do. I think with the pandemic, We stopped being able to have such a visual role. And, certainly during that time, new families moved into Decatur. New educators moved into Decatur. New superintendents have moved into Decatur. And I think it's really up to us now to make sure we're getting the word out about the work we do and how we're able to do it. So top priority is really just making sure we're getting in front of folks and people know who we are and what we do.
That's awesome. I will say that the new of Decatur is true. We actually have a new strategic plan in Decatur. And so the new strategic plan is called All in Decatur. And it was unveiled, I would say, March of 2023. And that was at the same time I was unveiled as the new superintendent.
Right.
So we've had a little bit of a facelift to the strategic plan from that original unveiling, but it really starts with the number one piece of student success in all areas. And when I think about Decatur Education Foundation, and once families or students or staff identify barriers to that student success, you step right in to help. So tell me about something that you've done to help, support our students so that they can have success in all areas.
Sure. And I want to say we feel honored to be a place that people go to when they recognize a need or when they need help with something. So we're always grateful to hear from CSD staff or from families who are in need of a little bit of extra support. Mm-hmm. One of our programs is called Lighten the Load. I know you're very familiar with it. It's something I'm really, really passionate about. It's something during my time with DEF previously. It was actually right around this time of year. We were getting ready for a break, and I was picking my son up at Claremont Elementary School and speaking with his teacher and asked if she was excited for break. And she said, "Not really." And I said, "Oh, why? What? I thought we're all excited for break." And she said, "Well, I usually am, but today I asked that of one of my students, and he shared with me that breaks are always kind of tricky for his family." Mm-hmm. And when I asked why, he said that he and his siblings really count on having breakfast and lunch at school, and it's really tough to be off for a whole week. Mm-hmm. And I was shocked to hear that. And she was also shocked to hear that. And, we probably shouldn't have been.
Right.
But we were.
Yes.
We were blind to that need that existed in our community. And we immediately got to work on what we could do to help our kids who are struggling with food insecurity. There were some questions about whether that's our role as an education foundation. How does that tie in to a child's education? And I don't have to tell you.
You do not have to tell me.
When
that
a kid is showing up at school and they're hungry, how can we expect them to be on their best behavior and to be ready to learn? And so we did, decide that food insecurity was something that we should work to address. And it's evolved over the years. This year, we sort of streamlined that by working more closely with our CSD social workers to make sure we are getting all of the families and learning of all of the needs, and then sort of figuring out what role is for DEF to play, what role is for our McKinney-Vento liaison to play, for our social workers to play. Mm-hmm. And so that is a program that feels really important to DEF and to supporting, our kids in all kinds of ways.
Yes, I would agree. Being able to meet what is considered the basic needs of food, shelter, just being able to do that can make all the difference in being ready to learn.
Absolutely.
Another one of our strategic accelerators is for our students and even our families to feel that we are building and sustaining an engaging and inclusive culture. And last year we had our inaugural Yes I Can awards. And those awards really honor our students with disabilities. And I wanted to thank DEF. I've done it publicly, privately, but now here on this podcast to say thank you for supporting that initiative. That was the first time we had that award ceremony, and to see our students, to see their families, to see the teachers, the administrators, the entire community come together to say, yes, you can academically, yes, you can behaviorally, and ultimately going right back to that first strategic accelerator of yes, you can be successful. So yes, thank you so much.
We were happy to support that. That was a really great event.
It really was. Now this third strategic accelerator is helping our teachers, our actual staff, the high quality professionals that we have. How do we retain them? How do we compensate them? How do we ensure we're attracting the best? And you do that tremendously. I know we have something called opening day, and DEF is so ever present on that day. So talk to us. How do you help us hire to retire in the city schools of Decatur?
We love our teachers. We love our staff so much. I've had kids at College Heights, Claremont, Fave, Tally, and Beacon Hill. And so personally, but also professionally through my work with DEF, I have seen firsthand all of the ways that they support our kids, right? And I know there are so many ways that we can be working to make sure we are showing them our appreciation and working to retain them. Obviously, a big piece of that is compensation, which I know that you and the board have been working on trying to increase, which goes a very long way. I think that's very important. We also play a part in making sure they know how much their community appreciates them.
Yes, you do. Yes,
and we want them to know that the community appreciates them and that the foundation appreciates them. And we try to support them through, yes, providing lunch on opening day, which is just a very high energy, fun welcome back to the school year, which we love being a part of. We also love to recognize those staff and teachers who have gone above and beyond and really seeing our kids, seeing a need that perhaps most wouldn't see. We hear so many stories about our amazing teachers and staff who are really seeing something there and then working to meet that need. And part of that is our Teacher Innovation Grants. Yay. Which we are in the middle of that cycle right now, and is always just a really fun way to show our teachers that they have our support, support their wonderful ideas of how they can better engage their students, how students might be struggling with a certain learning objective or perhaps, some equity issue or social emotional learning. It really is just across the board. The wonderful applications we get from our teachers and staff, and we love being able to support those ideas.
Well, we appreciate you supporting those ideas. Our teachers love to receive those grants, and just the way in which you support from all of our staff, the awards that are provided at opening day, obviously lunch on opening day, all of those sorts of things really do help us create that culture where our teachers feel appreciated, not only by staff, not only by students, but by the community as a whole.
Absolutely.
Yes, and the final strategic accelerator. That accelerator really says for us as a district, we want to be excellent, and we also want to be efficient in our organization. So we are talking about opening an early learning center. Yes. And another one.
Yes, another one.
Another one, yes. So that we can, one, go back to that first accelerator, meet our students, make sure that they are successful, they're skillful readers, they belong to the community, the entire community, but also one that is environmentally friendly.
Yes.
Because we do understand the values of Decatur. So
Yes.
what type of engagement have you had from a foundation perspective on this potential new early learning center?
We are so excited about the potential new early childhood learning center. We've been hearing about this for years. Mm-hmm. And, through my close work with Decatur Housing Authority, I've been aware really since starting with DEF of the lack of access that exists for some of our families at College Heights.
Yes.
And College Heights is a wonderful place. I know firsthand. I know how important early learning is for a student's ultimate success. And I am thrilled beyond words about the potential of a new one coming that is closer in proximity to our families who might have barriers getting to the other side of town. So I've been really excited to be a part of these conversations with you and with other community members. I have been really encouraged by the questions that are being asked and all of the thought that's going into how to make this, what the city of Decatur wants and needs, mm-hmm. and what our students want and need, but the rest of the community as well. And I know there have been concerns about green space and lack of green space, and I absolutely understand the importance of green space. And I know that it's important to all of our kids, including those that are right there. And I've been really encouraged to hear what that is being considered as a priority as well. That, that everything is being done to ensure that some green space remains for community use, but that really, in order to meet the needs of our kids, we won't be able to do that until we are addressing that lack of early learning that has existed so far.
Yes. I think about what you said was the mission of DEF was to not only identify the barriers, because a lot of times we as the school system identify the barriers, but we can't necessarily meet them. But a barrier to access to early learning, to kindergarten readiness, to making sure that we have skilled readers by the time students are in third grade. Early learning, that type of access is right around the corner for a community that needs it. And so I am excited to partner with DEF around this possibility. This is very exciting.
We are too. Thank you.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about DEF itself.
Okay.
So we have had Battle of the Bands. We have had our opening day. We have had fundraisers. I know we've even talked at the PTA council together. There have been a lot of different conversations around fundraising and priorities and things we want to do this school year. So tell us, Meagan, what are some of the things we can look forward to in 2024, 2025 from and with DEF?
Well, you mentioned Battle of the Bands, which was a really fun community event, our first time doing this, and we weren't exactly sure what to expect, but we were blown away by the amount of support and by the number of students and families and teachers and staff that came, even though the weather did not exactly do what we were hoping it would do.
It didn't, but we still had a great time, didn't we?
We did manage to have a great time. I actually just heard from one of our teachers that's in one of the bands today thanking me for this event, when obviously we feel so much gratitude to them for showing up after a long day of school, a long week of school. They came on a Friday evening and we're part of this really wonderful, fun event after what had been a tough week, quite frankly.
It was.
And it was really wonderful to look out and see all of those kids having fun and their families as well, and seeing our community come together and just enjoy being with each other. It was great. So we're looking forward to more of that. We are bringing back our big fall fundraiser, which is the Supper and Sips.
Oh, yes.
We are excited to bring that one back in November. We will, of course, have our annual Tour Decatur in March.
I will be there once again.
Everyone's favorite, assuming the weather cooperates. It's funny how the weather can sort of make or break the spirit of that one, but we got lucky this past year and hoping we will again. And so those are the big fundraisers we have planned. We've been hearing from a lot of community members, a lot of other local organizations about wanting to support our work, ways we can partner together for some smaller fundraisers. We are just so grateful when people reach out to us with ideas of their own. And, we were thinking our band would play and we would, request funding for DEF. We love to hear that, not only because all of our programs are completely supported by the community.
Yes.
But also it helps spread the word about our work in areas where we maybe haven't spread it before. And so we are excited about all of those opportunities. And as far as the work goes, we are plugging right along with our teacher innovation grants and Lighten the Load. That program has actually doubled this year.
Wow. Needs.
The needs have doubled. Last year, we were providing about 40 bags a week on Fridays for our students who struggle over the weekends. And this year, we've been asked to provide more than 90. So we really rely on our community to support that initiative. We have wonderful volunteers who put those bags together and deliver them for us. And looking forward to more work with Joe's Fund, which is our behavioral health initiative. Just this week, we have another ASSIST training, which is applied suicide intervention skills training.
Which is so important, especially this month. So, yes.
Suicide Prevention Month. Absolutely.
Yes.
This is a program we've been supporting for a couple of years. I actually went through it myself. I know firsthand how powerful it is. Their mission is to create a suicide-safe community.
Of course.
And so we're happy to work with our CSD counselors and provide that for not only our CSD employees, but our community as well. And continuing with our anti-racism work.
Yes.
And providing an opportunity for people to participate in something called a long talk about the uncomfortable truth. And their mission is to have an anti-racist at every dinner table in America. Our mission is to have an anti-racist at every dinner table in Decatur.
I love that.
So we are really looking forward to the year ahead. We are thinking about some new ways we might be able to support our school counselors and our student centers, especially in the wake of the tragedy at Appalachia.
Yes.
Some supports for our students during lockdowns, which are sadly a fact that we're all living with now.
Yes.
We have heard about some really wonderful teachers at our middle school who kept their kids calm and engaged and happy during this most recent lockdown. And we want to provide more opportunities and more support for our teachers during those times, as well as perhaps some initiatives that can, be more on the front end of this work, like anti-bullying in our schools and in our community. So
those are some really, really needed initiatives. I know we are balancing the priority of safety, which is number one from the physical standpoint, but then also the psychological safety as well. And so I'm very appreciative to DEF. One of the opportunities to help support our teachers is through NAPSI. And you have stepped up to say that our teachers who are our Black teachers, we would love to support, to help coordinate, to ensure there is a teacher from every school that would be going to the National Association of Black School Educators Conference, because it's here in Atlanta and it doesn't always come. So when I think about that, it's just another opportunity. One of the first evening events I attended in Decatur was the Celebration of Excellence, where numerous students are given scholarships
Yes.
to go off to college. So
Yes.
not only does DEF support our students and obstacles they may have while they are here with us from a pre-K through 12th grade, but even moving forward to college through many, many scholarships. That evening is one that is true, will bring tears to your eyes.
It is such a special evening.
Isn't
it? It's I'm probably not supposed to pick favorites, but it is a favorite for sure. It is a really special evening. Honoring these families who, many of whom have lost a family member, and want to honor them by giving a scholarship to one of our graduating seniors, and then really celebrating our graduating seniors. What I love about our scholarships is we aren't only acknowledging their wonderful academic performance.
Right.
We are acknowledging these really important characteristics that they've shown. Each of our scholarships is really sort of focused on the characteristics that were shown by the person that it's named for.
Yes.
So we have some that are very focused on a person's community involvement, or a person's integrity, kindness, showing up for others, speaking up for others. And it really feels wonderful to say to our seniors, yes, we are proud of so many things that you've accomplished.
Yes.
We are also so proud of just who you are.
Wow. So if you are listening to this podcast and you want to get involved with DEF, what available opportunities are out there for the community?
Lots. I think it's important, again, to stress that we are 100% community funded. Everything that we are able to do is because our community has allowed us to do that.
Of course.
So obviously donations are a huge part of that. We have what's called our Step Up Circle.
Yes, I see the art signs.
Yes. And so that is a way for our businesses and our individuals and families to sort of pledge their support for the year. And so we sort of know exactly what we have to work with for the year. It's very helpful for budgeting and planning. But that does start at a level that is not accessible for everyone. And I will say that we also have families who sign up for monthly giving and give $5 a month. And that also goes a very long way. We have so many people who give what they consider to be a small amount, but monthly it really adds up, and annually it really adds up, and really all combined, that is what makes the difference. So obviously, financial support is huge in allowing us to do the work we do, but also attending our events. Our events are fundraisers, but they're also really meant to be ways for our community to come together and celebrate. And so attending our events, volunteering at our events. We have a wish list on our website for Lighten the Load, helping us, purchase those items to ensure that our kids have what they need on the weekends and on school breaks. And, we're always open to partnerships. We love hearing from another organization and saying, we were thinking about trying this. Is that something you'd like to work together on? We love hearing from our PTAs and from the boosters about ways we can support our kids together. And so I would say reach out. Follow us on social media to see what's going on and what we're all about. Send us an email. There's truly something for everyone at DEF. And I always say, I don't feel the need to sell DEF.
Right.
I like to talk about what we're doing. And then I like to say, if there's something in there that's interesting to you, please join us, be a part of it. And so far, I've not met anyone who doesn't find something that they feel passionate about that we do.
Well, Meagan, we have covered a lot today. And I'm extremely grateful for the Decatur Education Foundation. I'm also extremely grateful for you as the executive director and for being all in for the city schools of Decatur and being all in for our community. Thank you for coming on our podcast today, Words with Dr. Whitaker. And please, please continue to support our community because you are making a difference. You are truly all in. So thank you so much for tuning in today with Words with Dr. Whitaker. Have a wonderful remainder of your day.